Hey everybody, and welcome back to Tens of Motorsports. In today's video, we are going to be installing some Polk audio speakers into this F150. Now, this F150 is a 2012 model, and right around this time frame, they had some really bad speakers go in them from the factory. So we're going to be removing the door cards and installing these. For those of you who are here for the door card removal, we'll hop right into that and talk about the speakers and installing those after we do the DIY on removing the door cards. And for those who have already noticed in the thumbnail and seeing them here that these are coax speakers, I'll explain why they're coax. Friends don't normally take that. We'll talk about that after we get the door cards off. So removing the door card. First, we're going to start by removing the screw that is down in the handle, this section here. We'll show how to do that, and all the tools and everything I use today will be linked in the description below if you don't already own them and you are looking to do this project yourself. There is a panel here, and I'm just going to be using this pick. And you want to be careful that you're not scratching the plastic really bad. You can use a flat blade, but we are going to be using the other side of this pick later on. That's an 8mm bolt right there. There's two down here, all the way up underneath here. One there. Another one on this side, same thing, kind of tucked up back behind there. The other one that's a little bit more difficult to get at is back behind the door handle. So instead of chewing up the edge of this, we're gonna open the door handle, and I'm gonna take my pick here and I'll hook it around this edge and then pull it towards me. So this is what that panel looks like. And like I said, I just opened the door handle and then put the hook around it towards the bottom, and then I was able to pull it out straight towards me. I'm gonna take these two panels, we're gonna put them aside. From here, I'm gonna remove the 4 bolts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the panel comes up and then back towards us. So this is probably the most complicated thing about removing the door card is this, and it's really not that difficult. So you can spin this blue piece, and on the other side you can see that there's tabs that you squeeze in. So you'll put the tabs that squeeze in up and down. So all I do is spin it like this, and then I'm gonna take a pair of pliers and squeeze those tabs and then push it out. So here are the plugs that I had to disconnect. I'll just show these real quick. So there's a release clip on them, and you'll have 4 of them in total. This whole section ended up sliding out on the door, which is fine because I'll clean all these out, but normally you would disconnect it, same thing. There's a release clip right there, so you just would push it and release it. So you got those 4, this is the driver's side, those 4, and your door handle. And that's pretty much it. Pretty simple door card removal. Now, those of you who are here to watch me replace the speaker, it looks like the speaker is OEM, and I'm happy about that because the speaker sounded terrible, meaning one of two things. One, it was OEM and they were blown, or 2, the cheap head unit that somebody put in here, this big touch screen, wasn't powering an aftermarket set properly. So this gives me a little bit of hope, since these are OEM and they sound bad, that it's just a blown speaker, and hopefully that head unit will have enough juice to run our Polk audio. So let's go take a look at those speakers. We'll unbox them and I'll explain why I have a coax setup instead of a component. All right, speaker time. Really excited about this. Polk Audio is a fantastic company. I've done a lot of systems using their products. One of the things that I've learned over the years is the tweeters. If you do not get a soft dome tweeter, they are very harsh. And where this truck has the tweeters up in the A-pillars, if the tweeter has a harsh sound, it's gonna be very difficult to tune that out. I did a stereo system, head unit and everything, on a 2nd gen Dodge Ram. That system sounded absolutely fantastic, but the tweeters in the A-pillars point right at your face, and we did not do a soft dome because we were trying to be budget. We got these on a really good sale. I'll make sure to have these linked in the description. Because the A-pillar tweeters on this truck don't point directly at your face, I'm going to install these, and if this tweeter here and the tweeter that's up top are okay together and it's not overpowering, I'll be okay and we'll just leave these and we'll purchase another set for the rear. If it's too much, I'm going to move this set to the rear and then put a set of components in the front. The stock tweeters that are in this truck sound fairly mild. So that's the plan. These go in the front. If it's too much tweeter, we'll move these to the back and do coax in the front. I looked at reusing this. I pulled it off the old speaker because I thought maybe that this was touching the door card, which is why there would be foam on it. And inspecting the foam, it doesn't look broken down or anything like that, so I don't think I need this. And when it comes to the volume output, this is going to decrease the output by quite a bit. The holes aren't very big, and this is a really thick piece of plastic. So we're not going to be reusing this. You can if it ends up matching yours. The next thing that we need to talk about is the speaker harnesses. So I have one here already done up. All I did was zip tie it because it is going to go further than it did originally, and the plugs are on this side. So I just zip tied it so it didn't hang out in the back there. So we're going to plug that in there. And then this goes into the back of the speaker, and luckily enough, it already has the proper connector. So one of these is narrower than the other one. So the narrow one goes onto the negative and the bigger one goes onto the positive. And what's nice about this is the holes line up with these ones as well. So I'm going to get this bolted in. It's not going to be anything super exciting. I'll just run the screws through it and make sure to plug in the wiring. And then before we do the other side, I'm going to turn on the truck and make sure that this all works and sounds like I think it should. All right, well, it passed the sound test. The tweeter down here is very mild because the signal coming out to the speaker is not a tweeter signal. It's more of a mid-range. With it pointing at your leg, basically, it's more full. It makes the truck sound more full, but it doesn't sound like overpowering. And again, where these tweeters on the A-pillars aren't pointed right at your face, they're kind of pointed in that direction. Those are actually kind of hard to even tell that those are running. I had to cut my hand over it to see if they were even on. For a while there, I thought maybe just these were running. I thought something was wrong with the tweeters up there. If you put your hand over them and cover them and get your ear real close with the volume up real high, you can actually hear the tweeter running up there. So those do work. They just are, they're mild up there and it's mild down here. So with this down at the door, it makes the truck sound more full. If we do any more audio stuff to this truck, where eventually we're thinking about doing rear speakers and maybe a subwoofer, we will definitely make sure to document it. The door card removal process and reinstall is so easy. All cars should be like this. Basically, you just have some hooks where the door kind of goes down in like this, and you have some bolts that hold it on. I don't know why everybody else can't seem to figure that out, but every time I take a door card off, it's this huge clip breaking, screw missing project. I was actually dreading it until I saw how to take this apart properly, and it's really not bad at all. Thanks everybody so much for watching, and we'll see everybody in the next video.
Bam!